Now is as good a time as ever to get into Doctor Who, but the show's long and rich history may seem a little daunting if you're a beginner. So before you step into the TARDIS, here's a primer on some of the small details that the show's most dedicated fans would catch. And now you can too. Doctor Who's lengthy first run ended in 1989, and while an attempt was made to resuscitate the series in 1996, it wasn't until 2005 that it finally returned under the leadership of executive producer Russell T Davies. The first season of the revival focused mainly on introducing Christopher Eccleston's 9th iteration of the Doctor and his familiar foes, like the Daleks, but also added fan-favourite companion Rose and a new season-long mystery. Rose's adventures on the TARDIS took her to many far-flung locations, but wherever she and the Doctor went, the words Bad Wolf always seemed to follow. It appears as graffiti across numerous episodes. The Bad Wolf Corporation shows up in Bad Wolf, and Bad Wolf TV features in The Long Game. Finally, in the Season 1 finale, The Parting of the Ways, it's revealed that the Bad Wolf is Rose herself. Having looked into the heart of the TARDIS, she absorbs its energy, destroys the Daleks, and scatters the words Bad Wolf throughout the universe as clues to help direct her to that moment. Unfortunately, the 9th Doctor is forced to absorb her energy into himself to save her, causing him to regenerate into the 10th Doctor. Other subtle Bad Wolf references popped up during Season 2 in episodes like Tooth and Claw and Love and Monsters. During what many fans consider the most heartbreaking moment in the show's history, the Doctor and Rose say a tearful goodbye in Dalek Ulf Stranden, also known as Bad Wolf Bay. The Bad Wolf reappeared in clues throughout Season 4 as well, hinting at Rose's eventual reappearance. Finally, in the 50th anniversary episode, The Day of the Doctor, the moment takes the form of Rose as the Bad Wolf. It's a nice touch, and one that brings the series full circle, all the way back to Season 1 of New Who. The Doctor just wouldn't be the Doctor without his trusty blue police box, the TARDIS, which stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space. It has the ability to travel anywhere in time or space and can blend into its surroundings using a chameleon circuit. Of course, the circuit broke on the Doctor's TARDIS, leaving it forever fixed in the shape of a blue police box. Blame the show's original budget. But while the outside of the TARDIS may appear unassuming, the inside, like its owner, is always changing its appearance. There is one design feature, however, that has remained the same through basically every regeneration. These roundels are typically either circular or hexagonal in shape and line the walls of the console room.
Look, the round things. I love the round things. What are the round things? No idea.
While they generally function as a decorative element, sometimes they've been used for more functional purposes. One was used as a scanner during the Season 5 episode, The Beast Below, and in The Husbands of River Song, a roundel was used, without his knowledge, to store liquor inside the 12th Doctor's TARDIS.
Would you like a drink? Order brown brandy. Help yourself. Don't tell Dad.
Most people tend to point out the same thing the first time they walk through the doors of the TARDIS.
It's bigger inside than out.
The inside's bigger than the outside?
It's bigger on the inside.
Is it? I noticed.
This is because of an effect called dimensional transcendentalism. Essentially, the interior literally exists in a different dimension than the exterior, due to some nifty transdimensional engineering. In fact, the TARDIS contains countless rooms, including a library and even a swimming pool. The main console room, which contains the control panel, usually undergoes the most physical changes during the Doctor's regeneration. But since the TARDIS is partially sentient, it can also change itself by choice. The Doctor can also redesign certain elements of the interior. The 11th Doctor completely switched up the console room between the 6th and 7th season. Shortly after, the 12th Doctor made a few slight modifications to this new interior.
Not entirely convinced myself. I think there should be more round things on the walls. I used to have a lot of round things. I wonder where I put them.
These changes have prompted other incarnations of the Doctor to voice their distaste in some way.
Oh, you've redecorated. I don't like it. Oh yeah, you never do.
The line has become a long-running joke on the show, ever since the 2nd Doctor first uttered it to the 3rd Doctor during the first multi-Doctor episode, The Three Doctors.
I can see you've been doing the TARDIS up a bit. I don't like it.
The Doctor's real name is one of the oldest mysteries on the show, and has been an oft-discussed topic among various characters over the years. Much of the revival's messy 7th season grapples with the Doctor's true identity, including the aptly titled season finale, The Name of the Doctor. River Song apparently knew the Doctor's real name, having whispered it in the 10th Doctor's ear in the library during the 4th season episode, Forest of the Dead. She also silently transmits it to the TARDIS on Trenzalore in order to open the doors for the Great Intelligence during The Name of the Doctor. While the Doctor is an alias itself, he often uses other names during his adventures to conceal his identity. One of his oldest and favorite aliases is John Smith, which he has used frequently during his visits to Earth, going all the way back to William Hartnell's first Doctor in 1963. John Smith has made many appearances during New Who. The Ninth Doctor calls himself Dr. John Smith on a visit to London in 1941 during The Empty Child, while the 11th Doctor uses the name in an attempt to infiltrate Sweetville during The Crimson Horror. But no Doctor uses the John Smith alias more frequently than David Tennant's 10th Doctor. Most famously, he lives as a human teacher named John Smith at Farringham School for Boys in Human Nature. In this episode, the Doctor uses a chameleon arch to rewrite his biology to become human, concealing his true Time Lord self inside a fob watch. Turns out, the universe's favorite Time Lord is pretty bananas for bananas. Though his tastes usually change depending on the regeneration, it seems like his love for the Earth fruit has remained constant throughout his very long life. The third Doctor and companion Jo Grant give a banana to a captive in the episode Frontier in Space. The sixth Doctor finds a banana in his pocket and gives it to Perry in The Two Doctors. During the Doctor dances, the Ninth Doctor tells companion Rose how much he loves bananas and swaps Jack Harkness's gun for one to prevent him from shooting a child. The 11th Doctor plays the same trick on River Song so she wouldn't kill him in Let's Kill Hitler during Season 6. But it was 10 who showed the most love for the yellow fruit. In one of Who's creepiest episodes, Season 4's Midnight, the Doctor attempts to stop the possessed Skye from copying him by mentioning something about bananas. It's also revealed during The Girl in the Fireplace that the 10th Doctor invented the banana daiquiri all the way back in 18th century France.
They'd never even seen a banana before. Always take a banana to a party, Rose. Bananas are good.
Although he has 2 hearts and a special respiratory bypass system, the Doctor sometimes needs to wear a protective spacesuit on his adventures on alien worlds. Thankfully, he always keeps one on hand, and it's usually the same one. The Doctor first acquired his signature orange spacesuit in Season 2's The Impossible Planet, as he travelled from the surface base of Sanctuary 6 down towards the core of planet Croptor. Safely back aboard the TARDIS at the conclusion of The Satan Pit, the suit found a permanent home and owner. The 10th Doctor donned it again for The Waters of Mars, but he damaged the helmet while trying to escape the planet. The suit's next appearance was Hyde.
Colour's a bit boisterous.
I think it brings out my eyes.
Makes my eyes hurt.
Luckily, Clara seemed to get over it. She wore the suit at least twice during her travels with the 12th Doctor, in both Kill the Moon and The Girl Who Died. The Doctor may be over 2,000 years old, but it took until 2018 for the Time Lord to take on a female form. Jodie Whittaker joined the series as the 13th Doctor, right when Chris Chibnall took over as showrunner from longtime Who helmer Stephen Moffat. According to Chibnall, he never planned on casting anyone but a woman. But Moffat himself may have been working on getting longtime Who viewers used to the idea of a woman in the title role. The character of Missy was introduced in 2014 as the latest incarnation of the Master, the Doctor's closest friend and oldest enemy. The last time the Master had appeared was in a 2009-2010 arc, having been presumed killed in a fight with a Time Lord named Rassilon. The character's return was a double whammy, not just because she was revealed to have survived, but because she had switched gender too. Then, in the 2015 episode The Magician's Apprentice, Missy reveals that she has known the Doctor since the Doctor was a little girl. The rest, as they say, is history. By the show's 7th season, viewers were beginning to learn more about Clara Oswald, the mysterious new companion to the Doctor. In 2013's The Rings of Akhaten, it's revealed that her mother died when she was a child, and that Oswald's mother died on March 5th, 2005. This date is significant to Doctor Who fans for a couple of reasons. First, the revival of the series hit the airwaves in March 2005. Second, the specific date of March 5th, 2005 is the day in that first episode, Rose, when Earth was invaded by Autons, and when the Doctor met Rose. That makes it a significant day in the lives of 2 Who companions, particularly for Clara, whose mother, it's suggested, died during that Auton onslaught. Since he can travel through time as well as space, the Doctor has met many historical figures, such as Charles Dickens, Richard Nixon, Vincent van Gogh, and, memorably and frequently, Queen Elizabeth I. who sat on the English throne from 1558 to 1603. Her Majesty is something of a recurring character on Doctor Who, first appearing in the 1965 episode The Chase. Here, companion Barbara asks to travel to the Elizabethan era, where she witnesses the Queen chatting with Shakespeare. The monarch later makes a comeback as the subject of a slowly unfolding, time-hopping running joke. In the 2007 episode The Shakespeare Code, the adventure ends with the Queen ordering the Doctor's execution.
What have you done to upset her?
How should I know? Yeah, that's time travel for you. Still, can't wait to find out. Something to look forward to.
Flash forward to Tennant's last original appearance as the Time Lord in the 2009 Christmas special, The End of Time.
Named Galaxy Allison. Got married.
That was a mistake. Good Queen Bess. And let me tell you, her nickname is no longer...
Notably, one of Queen Elizabeth's nicknames was the Virgin Queen, which is quite the implication for the show to make. The two characters finally meet on screen in 2013's The Day of the Doctor.
Hello, ladies. Don't start. Listen, what you get up to in the privacy of your own regeneration is your business. One of them is a Zygon. I'm not judging you.
A quaint little school named Coal Hill figures prominently in Clara's era of Doctor Who. The 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, makes a brief stop at the school while Clara and her love interest Danny Pink both work as teachers there. It's even the setting for the short-lived 2016 spin-off series, Class. But this isn't any old random school. It's part of the show's extensive continuity and goes all the way back to An Unearthly Child, episode number 1 of the original series, way back in 1963. During this era, William Hartnell's Doctor travels with his quirky granddaughter, Susan. Susan attends Coal Hill School, and since she apparently lives in the old blue police box, she arouses the curiosity of two teachers there, Ian Chesterton and Barbara Wright. Ian and Barbara quickly become TARDIS companions, just as Clara would 50 years later. They might even have known each other too. During the modern era, a sign at Coal Hill lists I. Chesterton as its chairman of governors, suggesting the Doctor's first ever companion is still alive and kicking during the time of the 12th Doctor. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.